Ladies and gentlemen, Cowboys Nation, buckle up because we've got a massive update out of Dallas that's shaking the linebacker room and possibly altering the trajectory of our defense heading into the 2025 NFL season. This just in: the Dallas Cowboys have officially signed linebacker Jack Sanborn to a 3-year deal, and it's already causing a stir among fans, analysts, and rivals alike. This is not just some practice squad filler or a camp body. We're talking about a guy with starting experience, a relentless motor, proven instincts, and a familiarity with the exact type of system Dallas is running under new defensive leadership. Let's rewind for a second and break this down, because Jack Sanborn's journey is one of grit, defiance, and football IQ. Born in Lake Zurich, Illinois, he made waves in high school with elite tackling numbers and then went on to play his college ball at Wisconsin, where he developed into a stalwart on one of the Big Ten's toughest defenses. At Wisconsin, Sanborn was known not just for stuffing the run, but for consistently diagnosing plays, blowing up screens, and being in the right place at the right time. He wrapped up his college career with over 230 tackles, double-digit sacks, and a reputation for being the smartest guy on the field at any given time. But despite those numbers, he went undrafted in 2022, which turned out to be one of the biggest oversights of that year's draft class. Fortunately for Sanborn, the Chicago Bears gave him a shot, and man, did he make them look smart. In his rookie year, he stepped up following injuries to the linebacker core and quickly became a fan favorite, notching nearly 70 tackles in just 6 starts before getting sidelined with an injury. But it wasn't just the tackle numbers that impressed. He was reading quarterbacks, plugging holes, rushing the passer, and playing with a level of aggression and anticipation that felt like he belonged in the league for a decade. Over the next couple of seasons, Sanborn continued to produce, finishing his tenure in Chicago with over 160 total tackles, several tackles for loss, a handful of sacks, and even an interception, proving that he can contribute in multiple facets of the game. But when coaching changes started shaking things up and new personnel came in, Sanborn became expendable in Chicago. That's where Dallas swooped in with the perfect offer, not just in terms of money, but in scheme fit and opportunity. Let's not forget, the Cowboys just hired Matt Eberflus, the former Bears head coach and one of the main architects behind Sanborn's breakout in Chicago. Eberflus knows exactly what Sanborn brings to the table, and their pre-existing chemistry will make the transition into this Dallas defense seamless. Eberflus values discipline, intelligence, and high motor play from his linebackers, and Sanborn checks all of those boxes. The Cowboys' defense, while explosive and loaded with athletic talent, has struggled at times to stop the run and play with consistency at the linebacker level outside of Micah Parsons, who often lines up as an edge rusher. With the departure of veteran DeMarcus Lawrence and the shuffling of roles across the front seven, bringing in someone like Sanborn is about more than just depth. It's about reinforcing the identity of this defense. Sanborn may not be the flashiest name, but what he lacks in fame he makes up for in football fundamentals. His ability to fill gaps, shed blocks, and read run concepts pre-snap will be invaluable, especially against physical NFC opponents like the Eagles and 49ers, who love to dominate time of possession. On top of that, his familiarity with Eberflus' defensive terminology will allow him to serve as an on-field general, helping get younger linebackers like DeMarvion Overshown and rookie additions aligned correctly. Let's talk about the contract details. Sanborn's deal with the Cowboys is reportedly structured as a 3-year pact worth around $6.75 million, with performance-based incentives and roster bonuses that keep the cap hit team-friendly while rewarding strong play. This is a classic Dallas front office move: low risk, potentially high reward. At only 24 years old, Sanborn is entering what could be the prime of his career, and locking him down now could look like a steal in a year or two if he solidifies himself as a key starter. Fans on social media are already buzzing about what this means for the linebacker rotation. Will he be slotted as a starting Mike? Will he rotate depending on down and distance? Could we see a more aggressive 4-3 set with Sanborn and Murray inside and Parsons wreaking havoc off the edge? The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes this signing so exciting. It's also worth noting the cultural impact of this signing. Sanborn has long been seen as a glue guy, someone who brings serious leadership and work ethic into the locker room. He's the kind of player who arrives early, leaves late, and spends extra time in the film room. If you ask his former coaches and teammates, they'll all tell you the same thing: he's all ball. No drama, no distractions, just pure focus and love for the game. That kind of mindset is contagious, especially in a young linebacker room where development and communication are key. And speaking of communication, let's not overlook his intelligence. Sanborn's football IQ allows him to diagnose plays before they develop, which not only helps prevent big gains but also lets him position others correctly pre-snap. That's something you just can't teach. And now that he's paired back up with Eberflus, expect Sanborn to be one of the most mentally prepared players on the defense each week. He may not be the fastest linebacker in the league, but his instincts often make up the difference. Let's also take a look at how he fits into the broader Cowboys offseason strategy. Dallas has clearly emphasized defense in free agency and the draft, shoring up the secondary, adding depth to the D-line, and now bringing in a smart, proven linebacker in Sanborn. When you combine that with an offense that's still spearheaded by Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Tony Pollard, the Cowboys are quietly building one of the most balanced rosters in the NFC. And if Dan Quinn's departure to Washington left a temporary leadership vacuum on defense, Matt Eberflus is already re-establishing a strong identity, and bringing in his former players, guys like Sanborn who understand his expectations, only strengthens that shift. And let's not forget how versatile Sanborn is. While he's best known for his work against the run, he's shown flashes of capability in zone coverage, especially when reading quarterback eyes and jumping short routes. He's not going to blanket Travis Kelce one-on-one, but he can absolutely hold his own against tight ends and running backs underneath. That's critical in today's NFL, where linebackers are constantly being forced into coverage by modern offensive schemes. Now, I know some critics are asking, why all the hype over a mid-level linebacker? But make no mistake, football isn't just about superstars. It's about the 53-road man on the roster being just as reliable as the 3-road. And Sanborn gives you consistency, toughness, and intelligence at a position where those traits often go undervalued. He may not be racking up 10 sacks a year or pulling down interceptions weekly, but he does the dirty work filling holes, taking on blockers, wrapping up in space that lets others shine. And don't be surprised if he racks up 80+ tackles this season while becoming a quiet leader in that huddle. His presence will also elevate the performance of others. With him doing the grunt work in the middle, it allows someone like Micah Parsons to be even more aggressive and creative with his rush paths, knowing Sanborn will clean up the back end. Same goes for safeties. If Sanborn can help shut down the short and intermediate game, that frees up the defensive backs to play tighter and jump routes. Every great defense needs one or two players who don't get a ton of headlines but are crucial for the scheme's success. That's who Sanborn can be. So Cowboys Nation, this is not just a small move, it's a smart, strategic addition that speaks volumes about what Dallas is building on defense. A long-term, affordable, reliable linebacker who fits the scheme, knows the coordinator, and can start or rotate seamlessly. Jack Sanborn may not be your jersey seller at the moment, but trust me when I say this, you'll be seeing 57 make plays on Sundays, and when he does, you'll remember this moment. The Cowboys are gearing up for a serious run this season, and while the media might focus on the flashier names, true fans know that championships are won with players like Sanborn anchoring the middle of your defense. So hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Sanborn will win the starting job out of camp? Do you see him as a long-term piece or just a bridge linebacker? Either way, stay tuned because training camp is right around the corner, and this Cowboys defense is starting to take real shape. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any updates. We've got roster breakdowns, preseason battles, and in-depth analysis coming your way. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Cowboys!